I'm Richard Southern at the Toronto Stock Exchange. Something really major happened in here this week. One of Canada's biggest mortgage lenders imploded. The stock crashed, and the implications for the Toronto housing market are massive. It's called Home Capital Group, Canada's biggest non-bank mortgage lender. It specializes in subprime mortgages, which means loans to those people who can't qualify for a mortgage from the big banks. On Wednesday, Home Capital stock crashed. It dropped 64% after regulators accused it of falsifying loan applications. Now, Home Capital is running out of money.
What we're seeing basically is an old-fashioned run on deposits. Like in the old movies where people are lined up outside the banks, people are pulling their deposits out because they perceive the risk to be too high now. It's not just Home Capital, it's a number of these other alternative lenders.
Stocky and other companies like Home Capital are down sharply over the past 12 months. And here's the problem. Toronto has become addicted to subprime mortgage borrowing. It's become a major driver of the Toronto housing market. Is this a red herring? Is this the start of the housing market bubble in Toronto going burst?
It could be. The things that started to go wrong in the U.S. where, some special investment vehicles and a hedge fund, related to Bear Stearns, and then it rolled through.
What's happening here is kind of like what happened in the U.S. in 2007.
It is a risk that is.
It's reminiscent of The Big Short, a movie about the true story of the U.S. subprime mortgage lenders like Home Capital going bust back in 2005, something that triggered the Great Recession.
The whole housing market is propped up on these bad loans. They will fail.
Unlike the U.S. in 2005, Canadian banks are in a better position to survive a housing correction, but economists are still concerned.
I don't want to be a doom and gloomer, but it's certainly something I'm really concerned about. I've been concerned about for some time. At the end of the day, though, I own a house and I have no intention of selling it, but one has to make sure that one is positioned if there is a problem.
Looking at what could be the top of the Toronto housing market, Richard Southern, City News.